Happy Sunday. We are back. We're putting some stuff on the face. So I have a lot actually for today. I'm going to apply a full face of Cleaner Beauty and talk to you about what I've reviewed, what's coming up, all the things, water filters, that's going to be a part of it. We're going to go from this blank canvas to this. And yes, there's still a little shine. I didn't bring my powder downstairs, so I would normally blot that, but we'll talk about which powders I would use and the rest of it. Let's get back to the video. So settle in, grab a cup of whatever you feel like drinking, and let's get ready together. Here we go. Air Perez foundation, oat milk foundation. I still love it. I prepped this morning. I took like a nice leisurely prep situation time and just sort of like, as my friends in Dallas would always say, they'd be like, we puttered around. And I'm like, yeah, I putter. Haven't used a sponge in ages. It just feels right. I had something to eat on Friday. I played pickleball for the first time, and then I went and got dinner. Which, pickleball, have you played it? It's pretty great. Although I'm a tennis player, so it's very weird. Anyway, so I had dinner and proceeded to not feel so great afterwards, which I won't go into details. You don't need to know all the details, do you? I don't think so. My skin was so red for the last couple of days. If I eat something that does not agree with my system, the skin will tell me first and foremost. That and my mood changes. I talked to Renee. If you haven't been watching the pod or listening to the podcast, you will soon be able to watch it. I've started doing videos for that, so I'm really excited. Those might come out on this channel. I've been working with a functional nutritionist, nutritional therapy practitioner. There's just so many words. She's been great, and I had my 6-month update. I have a year-long thing with her, and then we're doing real live conversations on the podcast where I'm just being really honest. So she put herself in an interesting position where like I could just say it's not working, and she would just have that on blast through my podcast, but I'm not saying that. We were talking about the brain gut axis, a lot about the gut. I did mention how usually I get a little unnerved or I get a little disconnected, and I'm like, oh, it usually happens right before I feel kind of sick to my stomach. It's real for me. It's a thing. This is the Iris and Romeo. I just reviewed this against the Honest Beauty Concealer. So a full demo scorecard video, like a solo video for this is gonna come up. And I'm trying to get back up to 2 a week. Kind of fell behind. Just to stay consistent. I really thought this was an interesting comparison. You'll see all the details, and then I did a side-by-side wear test, which I'm gonna post here, of course, and then I created some short-form videos off of that, so you can see more about that elsewhere. But that's how I come up with my favorites. That's how I get to Britt's picks. I wear them on the same day and watch and see how they do with demo and wear test, and mostly wear test. And I know not everybody has both of the products, so I think it's also really helpful to those who are trying to get an honest take. And it's not just subjective. You can see which might work for you and which might not work for you. I don't have to put powder on top of this. Still not having to set it. It creases maybe just a tiny bit, but very, very little. So impressive. I just realized I forgot a bronzing brush. So the other item that I'm going to be talking about this week is the Mango People bronzer, which you've seen me use over here before. I actually prefer to apply it to a brush, but I'm feeling lazy and I don't want to go upstairs right now. So I'm just gonna use my fingers to blend it in. It is so creamy and so lightweight that this is actually a viable option. It just sort of melts into the skin nicely. And this guy, I battled against one of my current favorites, the Rose Ink cream bronzer, which I really like. It is encapsulated in pretty bulky plastic packaging. I don't care if part of it's PCR or not. And as you know, I'm trying to move away from plastic, so I put them side by side, and that was an interesting comparison. It was close. It was very, very close. But the wear test was really close. When you look at what's inside, that's where it got interesting. So stay tuned for that one. That was kind of the deal breaker for me. Not even a deal breaker. I'm gonna keep trying it. You'll figure out what I'm talking about when you watch that solo scorecard. All in all though, I'm really excited about this brand. It does a good job, but you can see it's warmed things up a little bit and I could keep going. Like I said, I'd be here for a minute. Can pop it under the lip. You can multitask on the lid, which I really like to do. I do this with all bronzer. At this point, I'm sure everybody's, used enough makeup for long enough to make sure that everything's a multitasker. Do we all do that? I feel like we all do that. It's not news. And then I have a couple of empties. One is from Common Air. It's this really cool skincare brand. So Common Air, really interesting skincare brand here. And it is biodegradable. There's it's paper packaging, no plastic anywhere. And it comes in these little capsules that you can just pop in the water afterwards and they dissolve. So cool. I really liked it as a serum. I also think it's very travel friendly. I just got that on sample on a whim. And then we have our eye lights, which I always call eye brights, from RMS, which is a brand that has gone through a lot of changes. I know I've seen in comments, a lot of us have been witnessing it. I feel out of all of the new products that have come onto the market, that the eye lights are the ones that make the most sense for me. The eye lights are the ones that I have used the most often. The lip lights, not good for me. There's this new lip serum, which is $35. I think they've gotten a little greedy with their prices. I'm just gonna say it. They're not Westman Atelier. Maybe they'll get there for people who aren't familiar with them. Fine, more power to you and getting those margins, but I really feel like they've gone overboard with their price increases. And I can say that because I've seen it. I have a giant database of information where I'm like, whoa. Whenever I post a video on here, I do these little links that give you links to the products. And then within the link, I have the product name, the price, whatever. So I'm constantly updating prices because of inflation. Theirs tend to be really intense. And a lot of big brands haven't gone that high with their price increases. Now, the argument could be with the new products, there's new technology. Something about it is rubbing me the wrong way. It's funny, I had the founder of Axiology on my podcast, and we were talking about this concept of fewer better, and I know I talk about a lot of products here, but my goal has always been not that you go out and run and feel pressure to buy these new launches. As a matter of fact, it's the opposite, because I can see a blush that came out for RMS, which yes, their blushes have been beautiful, but I can create the same thing from a glass pot blush with a little bit of powder blush on top. Like, there's not enough of a differentiator. I just think people get swept up in the TikTok made me buy it of it all. Very rarely do you hear me say, wow, this is a standout product. This is the one. That's why I do Britt's picks, because I try so many and I'm like, there is enough of a differentiator in formula, in price, in texture, in wear test. Like, there's enough of a differentiator for me to go, this stands out. It's very rare. The new standouts for me are things like Common Air, the ones that are creating things like Mod Beauty, setting the bar and putting sustainability and conscious creation above all else, which I think is fantastic. Like, that's where I'm focused right now. Sadly, RMS is just not as innovative. That's it. I'll put it there. And have them prove me wrong with the next launch. Please, I want to be proven wrong. The one innovative thing that I do like, the eye lights, like the fact that this is an aluminum packaging, you get a ton in here. The value on this product is so far above and beyond the other launches that I've seen from them. That's just one person's perspective. Take it or leave it. I really didn't want to go on that long about that, but I did. Oh well. Ani Collet, we're back at it. It's not perfect, but it's pretty darn good. I think I'm gonna get the Tower 28 again, although I believe that flaked on me. I haven't seen a ton of mascara launches, or maybe I have and I just haven't purchased. The Milk mascara, I can't believe I'm saying this, but that one, really didn't like it at first, and now, I think I said this last week, it's really come around for me, but we're not quite there yet. I don't even need to build this up that much today. It's just kind of a light look. Now, let's get into water filters. I don't know if you nerd out about water filters. At this point, everybody in America should be really considering water filters, I believe. I am not an expert though. I'm just a consumer trying to figure it out, and it can be overwhelming. I've tried Berkey. Berkey can be very polarizing. It's very expensive. You get those big charcoal filters. I never liked the taste of it. I also have read way too much about NSF certification. Please do a deep dive on your own. It's a lot to talk about, and I will put you to sleep, I'm sure, if I keep going into it. Taste wasn't great. Fluoride filters weren't really doing their thing. I found something else called Clearly Filtered That's in a BPA-free plastic filter like Brita, but it was supposed to be better. I like it. I actually spoke with the founder, who then went crickets on me, which is like not a good feeling when you're consuming lots of water and then the founder kind of doesn't respond. And I don't know, that's very subjective, but it wasn't comforting. Wasn't the most comforting. Also, the plastic situation, even if it's better I don't want my water sitting in plastic. I don't want it anymore. There's really no reason to be buying all these plastic water bottles. It's ridiculous at this point, but the information needs to be out there and the convenience needs to be out there for consumers, or else they're going to keep doing what they've always done, and I get that. Just purchased the ProOne filters. These are ceramic filters because this whole thing happened with Berkey filters, the charcoal filters. They have been sold out for months. There's a whole thing happening right now with, I believe, the EPA, so check it out. Google that. It's all over the place. They're basically zeroing in on Berkey filters, and you can't, it's really hard to find a charcoal Berkey filter replacement. So I was going to go from clearly filtered back to Berkey, and then I ended up going into ProOne. And my mom is testing Cerametix at the same time. I'll put this information below, but if you want to learn more about water filtration, everything that I'm learning, I'm sharing on Instagram stories. Like this morning, I went to town on Instagram stories. So I'm mentioning that in this video because you can actually get that information. I might save it to highlights so you can go back and access it. I haven't used 14E Lip Nourish in a long time. I know they came out with a new formulation. I really like these. I really like this, and I really like that brand. I'm testing how long it takes to filter. The setup was 10,000 times easier. It's way less expensive than Berkey. It's still more expensive than Cerametix. The ProPure was created by a company that's based in Michigan in, I think, 2011. One of the differentiators there is that it's known for removing lead better than most. Again, do your own research. Don't just take my word for it. But that's where I got with my research, and I, in my area, am not as concerned about lead. I mean, I don't want lead. I don't want lead in my water. And when I did the hair tissue mineral analysis with Renee, we found lead in my system. We found some real fun things in my system. And she goes, there are very small levels. But the bottom line is, and you can listen to that episode, you shouldn't have it in your system. Anything like that. That should not be in there. We're not starting with a clean slate anymore. We're filled with microplastics and all the rest of it. But there are things you can do and implement in your everyday life that don't cost thousands of dollars. So hence the water filtration. That's it. I think I want a little more blush, which, like, who even am I? I was never a blush person, but there's also a lot of glow happening because I put on a really intense moisturizer last night, actually. I did not cleanse this morning. I have started a new cleansing routine, and it involves the One Love Organics cleansers, which, by the way, I've always loved their Bee Enzyme cleanser. And when I talked to the founder in a recent episode, she talks about eye cream, and she is so honest about eye cream. If you really want to know what works for eye cream, listen to that episode. I'll link it below. Finally, like, an honest answer from somebody who knows skincare. Anyway, I've always liked the vitamin B cleansers. I find it to melt off makeup and also rinse off the face really well, but it gave me little bumps on my face. So what I started doing was the vitamin B cleansing oil, that's this guy. And then, because I was gifted this, which I know, it's a lot of, are you gonna invest in both? I don't know. But after that, I have the Botanical A cleanser, which has AHA and BHA. This combination has been working so well. It's a very effective cleanse for my skin, which can run dry, doesn't break out, and anything with AHA, like the True Botanicals Cleansing Balm, my skin loved it. BHA and AHA do different things. They access different levels of the pore and cleaning it out, so I'm sure you can look into that. I looked into it, but now I can't remember what I said. That combination's been working for me. I put a lot more on because my skin, like I mentioned, has just needed a little extra love. So that combined with SPF on top, you're gonna get a lot of glow. Now, another thing that I have done is taken a little bit of setting powder. I will probably do that. I just don't have it around me. And I just lightly dust and it does the trick. Very, very light hand. There's actually a really small brush that almost looks like this, but a little bit bigger. and I dab a tiny bit of powder and just press into the shinier spots, that's it. It really holds for the rest of the day. I've tried the Ilia powder, I've tried the 14E setting powder. Both have silica. I can't use anything with cornstarch in it. It dries the crap out of my skin. Final note, she's getting a haircut. I didn't get a great haircut from somebody the last time, and I've just been a little gun shy about going in and getting my haircut again. I think we're gonna do a very different look, so that's happening this week. So this is it, completed look. I'm gonna get out there, I'm gonna go soak up a little bit of sun. My mood has been a lot better since last week. As you know, there's been a lot of emotional things happening, but I've been making it priority to put myself first, and I always recommend people do that. I'm terrible at that, by the way, I've noticed. In the 6-month update, the one thing that I'll tell you, I stopped taking all the supplements. There wasn't a ton, I don't like taking a ton of supplements, but I held off on the supplements because I just lost my motivation to do so in the middle of moving, and I feel great. So I've been moving more, I've been drinking more water, I've been getting outside. The basic fundamentals seem to be where I needed to focus, which is kind of comical. It's like you pay money to get this person and then you realize, oh, I just need to take more walks. That's not the final conclusion, but that was a part of it. Hopefully that's just a little friendly reminder to do something for yourself today, whatever calms you, whatever makes you feel good, whatever that may be, that's healthy for you. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.